Forces fighting for the new government in Libya have taken control of most of the city of Sirte, the last main stronghold of Colonel Gaddafi's supporters. Our correspondent Jonathan Head saw what happened.
I'm in what is, in effect, a model housing estate that was built by Colonel Gaddafi for the inhabitants of his birthplace. Very nicely built houses, peppered with holes. And those pro-Gaddafi fighters who were here have now been driven right the way down close to the seafront. And at the same time, they've been driven in from the east by forces from Benghazi and really penned into a relatively small area. But they're not giving up.
Well, let's speak to Nabila Ramdani now, a journalist who specialises in North African affairs. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
An important psychological milestone this, isn't it, capturing Gaddafi's hometown?
Well, absolutely, and I think it's the last significant piece of territory held by pro-Gaddafi forces. So, of course, if it falls to rebel forces' hands, it's a significant victory indeed. It's also very important strategically because the city of Sirte is located on the coast, exactly halfway between the capital Tripoli in the west and Benghazi in the east, which means that it will allow the rebel forces to establish communication throughout the country, and this will help in the few months and years ahead, of course, to establish proper communication and unite the country as a whole. And I think the fierce fighting that we are witnessing in Sirte is also an indication that somebody important is hiding there. Perhaps not Gaddafi himself, but certainly I would say one of his sons, Mu'tasim, who since 2009 has been appointed as a national security advisor to his father and who has his own special forces. He has his own special forces brigade, and he has been fighting with his father since the beginning of the conflict.
So maybe family members hiding out there. Are we any closer to knowing where Colonel Gaddafi is at all?
It's very hard, of course, to speculate about Gaddafi's location, but I think it is a fair speculation to say that he's probably still in the country. He's made it abundantly clear that he was not going to leave his country, unlike the other dictators who have since fallen in the region, in Tunisia and indeed in Egypt. And it will be, in effect, very hard for him to keep mobilizing people to fight for him if it was known that he was abroad safe and sound.
And Liam Fox, the Defence Secretary, is visiting the country. What does that say about Britain's relationships with the interim authorities there?
Well, it means, of course, that it's a strong signal sent by the British government to say that they are still very much backing up the rebel forces in Libya. It also means that, the pro-Gaddafi forces are have almost taken over the whole of the country. It's also, I believe, a massive PR operation from the British government to convince the outside world that the British people, in particular, are convinced that it was the military intervention in Libya was the right thing to do. Now, I'm a bit skeptical about that. I don't think that the vast majority of people in Britain are convinced that it was the right thing to do, especially considering the vast expenditure and indeed the bloodshed.
Well, thank you very much for your time this morning. That's Nabila Ramdani there, a journalist who specialises in North African affairs.